Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and part 3 of our ladder test video. We're back in the shop, all the gear's put away, and we've got a target right here with a bunch of holes in it, with numbers written on them. And we've got to figure out how to try and decipher what the target's telling us. Okay, so we're going to start having a look at these groups here, and we've got basically two nodes. There's a green one and a red one. And when you're ladder testing, really the only thing you're concerned with is the vertical spread. The horizontal spread you don't really care about. Horizontal spread has to do with seating depth and trigger control. The vertical spread is a reflection of the powder charge and how the rifle likes it. And right now I've got one that looks like the rifle really likes it. It's 6, 7, and 9 are right here. And they're easily within a half an inch of each other vertically at 200 yards. Now my problem here is shot number 8. I don't remember thinking that number 8 was a flyer when I sent it. It could have been though. My shooting is not perfect at all. And so yeah, I could have yanked this one a little high. In any case, it's about 3 inches over the other group. Okay, so we're going to look at powder charges 6 through 9 on our velocity sheet here in just a second. And then the second group we're going to look at really starts with shot number 11. It might have started with shot number 10, but there's 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. This is 2 inches at 200 yards. Okay, so this is 1 MOA. Actually, it's a little under 1 MOA at 200 yards. And it's interesting because this group wanted to run about 15 to 18 feet per second faster than this group. When these two powder charges, when these charges went off between shot numbers 9 and 10, there was an immediate jump in the velocity. The velocity was running along and it just went up and stayed up. That powder charge, the 0.2 grain increment from here to here made this whole group of shots move up on the target. So we have two groups to look at, shots 6 through 9 and 11 through 15. So what we need to do now is go back to our velocity notepad and have a look at that. Okay, so as you can see here, I went back and filled in this data, right? This is from the lab radar. These were my initial velocities that I wrote down while I was shooting. And I went back because I've set my velocities at these ranges, right? I can backfill the rest of the data onto my sheet. Got two basic groups here. Our green group was shot 6 through 9. That was this spread of powder charges right here. Again, this is 2F Swiss running my 609 grain bullet. The extreme spread for that entire string right there, even with the different powder charges, was 6 feet per second. There's my velocities. Now on the second node, the extreme spread for all those shots was 11 feet per second. So a little bit looser here by 5 feet, but still it's not bad. Now sometimes the lab radar won't track a projectile. It'll lose it, right? And for that I just fill in N/R, meaning no record. And what I've been doing over here, and I'm not done quite yet, is I'm going and I'm filling in, I'm using the JBM calculation, JBM Ballistics website, which I'm going to show you right there. And I don't want to do that right now. I'm using the JBM Ballistics website and I punch in my numbers in and it gives me the BCs, right? And I write them down because all I'm doing really is I'm looking for an average ballistic coefficient number. And when I get one that looks too high, like 566 right there and 404 right here, I can just go ahead and mark those, because this tells me that I probably wrote down the velocity wrong somewhere, or I punched it in at the wrong range. Like if I punch this in for 1164 at 150 yards, it would obviously give me a lot better ballistic coefficient than 1164 at 100. That's probably what I just did right there, because I was trying to hurry through this and I screwed it up and didn't catch myself till a little later. But what you can see right here basically, and I haven't done the math totally, is that I've got a bullet where the G1 BC is running somewhere, I would say somewhere around 520 on average. And the G7 ballistic coefficient is running somewhere in around 365 to 370 on average. Again, I haven't finished the math yet. I am going to go back and finish this out. Those are really good numbers for a home cast bullet, honestly. Those numbers actually compare favorably to my Sierra Game King that I run in my 30-06. That right there is the bullet I run in my 30-06, and Sierra claims a ballistic coefficient of 0.505. So it's pretty hard to believe, but that big old 600 grain home cast bullet is almost as good as that 175 grain Sierra Match King. And that's what these numbers are telling us. This has a BC of 505. So this one's not quite as good, but it's close. It's respectable for a lump of lead that big. Okay, so based on this data that we got, what I want to do is I'm going to load 5-round test groups for each of these charge weights, right? And then further, because our groups were still spread out a little ways horizontally, I need to go back and double check my seating depths. So we're going to load one 5-round group of each one of these, right? Each seating depth, and I'm going to go in 10 thou increments this time. 3.450 was the depth we tested at last time. So I want to know if I should be a little shorter or if I should be a little longer. So we're going to load a 5-round group of each one of these. Okay, all 5 of those for each one of these. So what that means is that we're going to end up with 25 rounds for each powder charge. So that's 100 total rounds to test, right? One of those loads out of here is going to be, one of these 5 loads is going to be the one, I'm pretty sure. And then on the red charge weights, our red group, it's going to be the same thing, except that this is going to end up being 150 rounds total. 3.450 again, that was the overall length we tested at before. And it's the same thing. There's going to be a 5-round group for each one of these and a 5-round group for each one of these. So in the end, for each line here, we end up with 25 rounds of testing, right? All right, you guys. Now I know there's a bunch of you that just heard me say that I was going to load 150 rounds of test ammo for this group right here, and that there's going to be 100 rounds of test ammo in that group right there, and holy cow, that's a lot of freaking test ammo. Can't we just find something in the middle here and load it up and shoot it? Because after all, at the velocities we shoot, it just doesn't make much difference, right? Yeah, wrong. It does make a difference. And the thing is, I'm doing this because I like to shoot, okay? I like to shoot a lot. This channel, as a matter of fact, what I'm trying to do is make this a channel all about shooting. And I'm hoping that people that like to shoot are going to watch the channel. So I don't give 2 shits how much gunpowder I burn through. I don't give 2 shits how many primers I go through. I don't give 2 shits how much lead I go through, and I don't give a rat's ass how many times I have to load those cases and run these tests. I'm going to drill down to where I end up with a really super accurate load for my rifle. And you know what else is going to happen while I'm shooting all those tests? I'm going to get a lot of practice shooting, basically, which I think that's a good thing too. And what I want to do is, because I'm trying to improve in several areas all at once. Sure, I want to improve this load, and I'm making videos about improving this load. However, I'm also trying to improve my technique. I'm trying to improve my offhand technique, my sitting technique, trying to improve my wiping technique. Wiping is very important to accuracy. Trying to improve my bullet lube. Bullet lube is also super important to accuracy. And then I'm going to improve my equipment too. I'm trying to up my game in all areas all at once. And that's what I want this channel to be about, is how to improve your game shooting and to not take shortcuts. And don't worry about some guy that took a shortcut, or he just loaded up something that popped into his head and it happened to work. That doesn't mean it'll work for me or you. That just means maybe that guy got lucky. And the reality is, the more likely answer is maybe that guy just ain't quite telling the truth. So we're going to stop back in here. The next video you see is going to be me loading up these test groups for accuracy testing. And we're going to switch up the testing regimen a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take that ammo over to Yakima, to the Moxie range, and we're going to shoot it at 350 yards instead of 200, where we're also going to have to deal with some wind. And because really the 200 yards is fine for ladder testing, but it's not really fine to tell you if you have a load that groups good or not. Lots of things look good at 200 yards that don't look good at ranges beyond that. So if we've got something amiss here, something's wrong with these loads, we need to know it right away so we stop spending any more time on it. So I'll see you next time on Recoil Therapy channel, and we'll be dragging some test ammo to the Moxie range. Till then, you guys know what to do. Just keep on doing it. We'll see you again on Recoil Therapy. Maybe that's it.